Ladies and gentlemen, smarks and marks of all ages, welcome to Straight from the Underground. Know your voices, they are not deceiving you. This is one half of the I'm Just Saying podcast. Shouts out to my man Stizzy Sweet Jones at the NBC Records, baby. You already know how we doing it, man. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Right into that pro wrestling talk. And I just want to give a quick shout out to Stephanie McMahon, aka Miss Slavetsky, on being the most influential CMO. Yes, so shouts out to you on that chief marketing operating award that you got, or recognition that you got, So shouts out to you and shouts out to WWE. Business is booming. And as business is booming, it looks like the Hurt Business is staying on Raw, baby. I like that. That's sweet. Nice treat for us to keep on seeing the Hurt Business put out that hurt on these baby faces. And speaking of the baby faces, Ricochet looks like he's the only one left, because Apollo has been drafted to SmackDown, which was a little teaser or they spoiled that with the promo before in the back when when Ricochet said that this could be Apollo's last night. He gave it away right then and there. So let's get right into it. Night one of the draft, we got to see our tribal chief, the leader of SmackDown, the leader of the Blue Brand, the leader of Fox Network, Roman Reigns staying on SmackDown, Drew McIntyre staying on Raw. But the big old surprise that we got, everyone probably heard already, unless you're living under a rock, that the New Day has been split up via draft. And honestly, I'm not mad at that, that it's looking like a new day for Big E and Kofi and Xavier, but necessarily Big E. You know what I mean? I'm liking that for him. I like the fact that he's by himself, because I've been getting accustomed to seeing him by himself, putting in work. But if I had the pencil in my hand, I would honestly book Big E to turn a little heelish, but you already know that's not going to happen, because they need challenges for Roman Reigns. But if I had that pencil in my hand, I know I'm saying a lot of butts, because there's a lot of butts with this with this business. But if I had this pencil in my hand, I would have Big E come down Friday night, SmackDown, kick off the show, have him cut a promo of how they don't want to see the black man up. All they want to do is see him down. They split up a cohesive unit between him and his boys. You know what I mean? The New Day had put in a lot of money for WWE, made a lot of cash, and then he's gonna break it up. You know what? I'm gonna break everything around here. So fuck y'all. You know what I mean? 3 ain't enough. I need 5. Bring back the 5 count and start whooping everyone's ass. Get rid of the New Day gear. Shouts out to Booker T, because he said that if Big E was going to be taken serious, he needs to get rid of the New Day gear, split away from his guys. This case may work for him. Other cases, it hasn't worked out in other cases, like the Dudley Boys, for example, when they got split up, for Bubba to do his little hardcore run thing and Devon to be the pastor, which could have got over, but WWE pulled the plug with that. That was some good shit. Reverend Devon was Deacon Batista. That's getting sidetracked. This is gonna work out for the New Day, Big E in particular. It's gonna work out as a heel or as a face. If he's a heel, he's gonna run through everybody, maybe get the IC title. If he's a face, he's still gonna go over, but he's just gonna be getting his ass whipped by Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Either way, it's the perfect recipe. It's the perfect storm. But we'll be right back with more Straight from the Underground.
Ladies and gentlemen, the draft has come and gone, and I really wish that this didn't happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's more than likely gonna expand for good things for them all. But for those you don't know, on the first night of the WWE draft, at least for me, it was something very bittersweet happened. What happened was that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston finally came back, especially Xavier Woods, because he's been out for damn near a year with an Achilles tear, and as anybody knows, freaking for any professional athlete, an Achilles tear is like, especially if it's a bad enough tear, it's pretty much the end of your career. And 9 out of 10 dudes who even do come back from an Achilles tear aren't the same person anymore. I mean, freaking, like, for example, you look at Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. Freaking, after he tore his Achilles, he was never he could never return to superstar form. And Kevin Durant, he ruptured his Achilles, and Lord knows if he'll be able to get back to form. But yeah, I'm very happy. I was very happy to see Xavier Woods back in action, and I was even happier to see him and Kingston capture the SmackDown tag titles. I was jumping up for joy, especially after Big E came down to celebrate with them. But then Stephanie McMahon had to play Buzzkill, and I know she enjoyed doing it. Freaking, as Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods got drafted to Raw, whereas Big E stayed on SmackDown. And they could put the hashtag Nike New Day all you want, but it should have never been split up. I don't care what anybody says. And sure, I'm not trying to oppose my boy post 90s on any of these subjects, but I understand the pros. It properly gives Big E a chance to have a proper singles run, but the New Day had such a great thing going. Like, it and for as long as it's been going on, like as good as they are, why end such a good thing after all the great thing they've done for not only themselves, the company, all the money they made, all the fans they connected to? It just doesn't make sense to me. But then I also got confused as to the Raw Tag Team Champions, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions being on Raw, and then what eventually happened on Raw, where the Raw Tag Champs, the Street Profits, got drafted to SmackDown, and I was honestly thinking two things. It was either one, they were going to unify the tag titles, which I was praying that they weren't going to do, because I'm tired of double champions and I'm tired of title unifications. So I'm glad that my second thought happened, and I was them both just switching titles. And I was definitely appreciating the Street Profits run as Raw Tag Team Champions. And as far as the Raw Tag Team Championship history, the Street Profits had become the longest reigning Raw Tag Team Champions. But that confuses me, because correct me if I'm wrong, the Raw Tag Team Championship history coincides with the World Tag Team Championship history, which was the WWE Tag Team titles, which were held by the New Day during their damn near 500-day run. But, I guess they're trying to separate the World Tag titles from the Raw Tag titles, so I understand that. But also, what most people don't know, and I'm not sure if Post 90s knows this, but with the Street Profits ending their reign as Raw Tag Team Champions and now becoming SmackDown Tag Team Champions, they're now the second team in history to be Triple Crown Tag Team Champions. Because they won the Raw Tag titles, the SmackDown Tag titles, and the NXT Tag titles. And if you want to be that more thorough, they also won the Evolve Tag titles. And, one could bunch that up with it, considering that WWE has a partnership with Evolve. And I mean, at this point, they bought Evolve, but you get my point. So, big ups to just black excellence, period, in both teams. But it's great. I'm glad that they swapped titles, because in the snap of a finger, the title issue is solved. And hopefully both of their reigns can be just as well. At least for the Street Profits, their reign as the Raw Tag Team Champions will be will be just like how their reign as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions will be. And hopefully both teams will get, well, I wouldn't say a fresh crop of opponents, but at least have more opponents to choose from. Because if I'm not mistaken, even though it doesn't look, I think the Raw and SmackDown Tag Division does still have a good amount of teams, despite the amount of teams that are breaking up and have broken up. It's just freaking, unfortunately, the tag team scene as a whole isn't being emphasized as much as it should be, and that's a very serious issue. Because I've noticed that even in NXT, that the tag title situation, that the tag teams aren't being emphasized as much as they should. I can legit tell you that right now, it was up until yesterday. I'd say maybe a few days after the Takeover pay-per-view till yesterday, that I legitimately forgot who the NXT Tag Team Champions were. That's how scarcely they've been used, to the point where I've forgotten of who the champions were. And it's crazy because the champions they beat and the champions before then, I would already know that they were champions no matter what. Just because even as their roles on TV were diminishing, they were still making enough appearances for people to still know them and them to still be relevant. And I know we spoke on the tag team situation, but they seriously need to fix this, man. Because we love tag team wrestling. I don't know anybody that's a wrestling fan anywhere who doesn't like tag team wrestling. And especially among the best tag teams, it can be some of the most entertaining stuff. Like my favorite match of all time, Edge and Christian versus the Dudleys versus the Hardys at WrestleMania X7. Greatest match of all time, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got to say. Back to post 90s.
Welcome back straight from the underground, ladies and gentlemen, smarts of all ages. We got a nice little surprise after him being on 6 years, being on Raw for 6 years. We got a nice little surprise. Seth Rollins heading over to the Blue Brand, and things are gonna get very interesting over there with Seth Rollins going over to the Blue Brand. And let me say something about Seth Rollins real quick. Ever since this pandemic and everything's happening, he's honestly been the best wrestler that WWE had to offer since Roman Reigns. But Roman Reigns, he was going. He just came back. But he has been the best thing going for WWE today, besides the Big E and Dominic Mysterio and many others. Sami Zayn along with that, AJ Styles. But Seth Rollins, he's really been holding it down with the promos, making Dominic Mysterio looking great. Because, all right, people want to give all the credit to Dominic Mysterio. That's fine. Give it to him. He's good. But he wouldn't be able to do half of the things he's doing in the ring if Seth Rollins wasn't being that ring general, guiding him. You know what I mean? Telling him, this is where you go. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is what you do next. This is what you do next. Make sure you wait. Hold on. Get your brother. Then pounce on me. You know what I'm saying? Even though his dad's probably telling him that too, but his dad's not in the ring with him. His dad's on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? So that's good. And Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio followed along with Murphy to the Blue Brand as well. Looks like we're gonna keep getting that story, but I wanted to see Humberto get drafted there too, because I like that tag team that he has going on with him and Dominic Mysterio is pretty good. Build them up a little bit, but they split that up. Humberto's on Raw and Dominic's going to SmackDown, so that is what it is. And I want to stay on SmackDown for a little bit before I get on night 2 of the draft for Raw. That match with Big E and Sheamus, that was some good shit right there, man. That was some real good shit. I appreciate the efforts being shown in that match. Little no DQ parking lot brawl type action that they had going on there. I respect that. But another match that really caught my eye from this Monday night was Kevin Owens versus Aleister Black. That match, out of all the encounters that they had, all the fights, this match looked to be like the best match that they had. While they're beefing, for whatever reason, I don't know, it was like Aleister Black lost his eye and became madly confused. He just beat up Kevin Owens for no reason. My man Kevin Steen. But, that is what it is. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. I guess we'll get a deeper story on that. You know what I mean? Because we need to. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense. But I do love the match in itself, with all the tables and chairs and all that. And Kevin Owens came right down for business. Had his shirt all cut off, his sleeves cut off, black jeans and his rock Under Armour shoes on, ready to lay the smackdown on Aleister Black's candy ass. But I know I'm saying a lot of butts here because I want the pencil in my hand. I want to book at least one night. You know what I mean? Because the things I could do with Aleister, I'll put Aleister Black right alongside Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. And I'll tell you my reason why. Because it looks like he has no direction. You know what I mean? It looks like WWE has no idea what to do with him. He's dark and cryptic enough as it is, so why don't you just put him with them? You know what I mean? Add another layer to Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss, but just leave it at that. Don't add nobody else in. You already don't want to add Bo Dallas in. That makes perfect sense. And where is Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel? Those guys are actually freaking creative. Those guys are actually good. They took the B team and got it over. Why aren't they getting more of these opportunities? You know what I mean? Can I see somebody on Raw Underground? And where is Raw Underground? It's been 2 weeks and Raw Underground hasn't been around. I understand Shane got a big role now, but man, we need Raw Underground. We need it. speaking of Raw Underground, Dabba-Kato got drafted to Raw. I don't know what's in the plans for him. I don't know what they got planned for him. I hope it's more than just Raw Underground, because that's a big motherfucker. I'd love to see him alongside somebody whooping some ass, whooping some candy ass. You know what I mean? Because he's a big guy. He's a big guy. I would just like to see more opportunities for him and Riddick Moss. Those guys have really been outstanding since the Raw Underground has started up. Titus O'Neil too, but you know, Titus O'Neil's Titus O'Neil. He's rough. He's a rough, tough, big guy. You know, he's not too good in the ring. Raw Underground is just for him. He got drafted to Raw too, so I guess that's the reason why he did get drafted to Raw. Because at first I thought it was a wasted pick, but you know, who am I? You know, but with that being said, Raw did have a good draft, good second night. You know, Bray Wyatt, Alexa Bliss, Jeff Hardy, Matt Riddle, Lacey Evans, Keith Lee, Retribution, Dabba-Kato, just to name a few. Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado too. Looks like house parties going there. Lucha House parties going their separate ways. Kalisto needs it because he's very talented. Came back looking like $1 million, looking like a gazillion bucks, matter of fact. But I am excited for Braun Strowman to be on Raw, because him and Keith Lee look like they own some extra shit together. They just need to change Keith Lee's music. I can't get behind that, but I fucking digress. We'll be back with more straight from the
true problem arises, it seems that the only way the problem can get solved is with a hitman. That's where I come. Doing what I just said, I am Hitman Cause. Welcome back to Hitman's Contracts, where I basically select a contract of my choosing, give my take on it. And for this contract, it's been an ongoing issue for maybe a few months or so. I honestly thought after they stopped talking about it, it was going to be an open and shut case, but now this woman's gone off the deep end, and so I'm not being so freaking vague. What I'm talking about is the situation with Matt Riddle. If you guys remember, there was a small period in time, or maybe a big period in time, during the pandemic that was called the Speaking Out movement, where from different places, people were literally speaking out against somebody or something or some people that they did wrong. And this pretty much led to tons of people coming under hot water, losing their livelihoods and whatnot. Most of it being members of the NXT UK roster. But what I'm talking about has nothing to do with that. What happened was Matt Riddle admitted to cheating on his wife with this girl named Candy, who was also a wrestler. But it didn't last long because he realized what he'd done, and his conscience was basically talking to him. you know. But freaking, from everything she said that he's done, doesn't really add up. Because she's accused him of sexual harassment, sexual abuse, domestic abuse, stuff in that ballpark. And he has denied all those claims. And he's even, and first of all, not only did he do the right thing and talk about this to WWE beforehand, he also has admitted that she stalked him. And at the rate she's going and what she's doing now, I have a hard time not believing him. You know, and you know this, and like the one thing that stands out to me the most is I think when like she was talking about when it like started or something like that, or like when it got real bad. She was talking about the day or like the time around he started in WWE, when yet the time she said, I think it was November of 2 years ago or something like that, when yet around that time Riddle hadn't even signed the contract, so she's already lying. But now it's even worse at this point, because now she's taking it a step further, and now she's suing WWE, Matt Riddle, and I think another promotion, all for $10 million each. And look here. All the stuff she's accusing Matt Riddle of, extremely serious stuff that I wouldn't do and I don't condone doing. And if she is telling the truth, then hey, she deserves her money, as well as maybe an apology from WWE for not believing her. But what's really throwing me off is one, you know, there is the hole which shows she's lying in my opinion, but also just the amount of money she wants from them each. It just has me thinking that kind of like with the Velveteen Dream situation that I spoke on last episode. Except it's different, where this time she's trying to ruin this man's life and ruin his marriage, but she's also trying to get a nice payday out of it. So not only is she looking like a crazed gold digger. Reason why I say crazed is because of the stalking. And like I said, a crazed gold digger trying to get an easy payday, but I'm also looking at her as a home wrecker. So that because Matt Riddle's clearly mended the relationship with him and his wife, but now she's really pushing it, like really pushing it. With being a home, with trying to be a home wrecker, and a crazed gold digging liar. So all in all, I'm with Matt Riddle on this. This bitch is lying through her teeth. I'm not believing a word she's saying, and I can honestly say that unless she has concrete, and I mean concrete, proof of all of this, she will not win. Because I've said it before, WWE has the best lawyers in the business, and unless you have concrete proof, you will not win in a lawsuit against it. You don't believe me? Let's take, for example, this class action lawsuit that a whole bunch of wrestlers who previously wrestled for WWE who were all in a joint lawsuit against WWE for their lack of I'd say help or urgency as far as treating CTE or just treating concussions. They lost. So if a group of wrestlers who have all had serious injuries that also can lead to retirement if you get too many of them, if they can't win, you ain't winning either. And that's all I got to say. This is Hitman's Contracts. I'm out.
Switching over to the SmackDown side of things for night 2. More noticeable names as in Bayley, Street Profits, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Lars Sullivan, King Corbin, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke and Cesaro, Dolph and Robert Roode, Apollo Crews, Carmella, Shorty G. Okay, back to Lars Sullivan. He's scheduled to fight Jeff Hardy this Friday, right? Okay, it's cool. You see him destroying everything up, destroying the Miz and the Morrison, basically Morrison and Miz running. Lars Sullivan destroying Morrison and Miz is running like a little coward. But now they have Lars going against Jeff. And WWE, are y'all just trying to hurt Jeff Hardy again? Because I was there after Kofi Mania, that SmackDown Live. I was at that show when Jeff and Matt had won their titles off the Usos, and you had Lars Sullivan come down and beat up Matt and Jeff, and the result of that, you had broke Jeff Hardy's leg, missing action, delayed Matt Hardy, and I don't understand WWE's booking sometimes. You want to keep hurting investments. Jeff Hardy has one good last WWE run in him. Why are you gonna put him in a match with a man that has no care, no regard for anybody? Yes, Lars, I'm talking to you bastard over here hitting up yoga instructors. She said OnlyFans, man. You already paid for that. Stop asking for more. DMing her, okay? She don't want you. But you take care of Jeff Hardy in the ring, man. If you hurt him one more time, bro, I'm going to be pissed. That was my my greatest man mock right there. Pissed. But another news. What is the deal with Zelina, Garza, and Cien? If I'm WWE, I'm breaking all these suckers up and I'm pushing the hell out of Garza. I'm putting Cien with his actual girlfriend, Charlotte Flair, and having him on some cocky queen, king type business where you can't even touch them. Everyone's peasants when you come around them because they're the king and queen of WWE. And Zelina, she's talented enough as it is. I'll just have her fight for championships and titles and whatever, and just have her be on her own. Like Jeff Hardy said, I love me a good old triple tag team. Shouts out to Jeff Hardy, man. I knew you didn't mean it. It was a botch. It was, it's all good. You're forgiven. But we'll be back with more Straight from the Underground. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Straight from the Underground. And hey, man, please, I would like to know if Lana is okay. Is her back fine? Because this has been like the 4th week she's been put through a table. Granted, in lighter news, she did win the Battle Royal to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's title. We all know she's going to get her ass whooped. We all know she's going to get squashed. But we will all see what awaits us, and we all see what happens on the season premiere of Raw. That's where it should be on. You shouldn't be holding that for no pay-per-view. It should be on the season premiere of Raw. And I'm excited for the season premiere of SmackDown, even though it shouldn't be the season premiere of SmackDown, because you have Raw people on there still fighting. Jeff Hardy versus Lars Sullivan. Jeff Hardy is a Raw competitor. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman is a Raw competitor. But I digress from that situation, man. I really do digress from that situation, because I'm just going to get pissed off. Before we get off this WWE tip, I would like to give my top 5 wrestlers in WWE right now. I'm talking both brands, because WWE is one umbrella. And I ain't going to count NXT, because that's something else. You know? But my top 5 wrestlers today, no particular order: Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Apollo Crews, and Sami Zayn, baby. Before I unwind, get up out of here, I would like to give a shout out to Asuka. She's so funny. I love her on commentary. I love when she's on the mic. You know, you can hold that strap on her for a while. But switching over to the AEW, I just want to just talk on this real quick for you AEW marks. You know, you're loving your shiny new car. You same marks, you same assholes, discrediting WWE. Same guys, y'all the same ones asking for Miro versus Jericho or Miro versus Hager. Still asking for WWE talent in a different setting. How does that make sense to y'all? I'm not getting it. I don't even think y'all get it. Y'all just spewing out stupidness, and that's why I had to leave that AEW group the other day, because people just see one thing by AEW and blow it up. Like, it's fake news, bro. Kenny Omega did not tell nobody in GameStop that the game was in making. They're working on making the game in progress. Never said nothing about it being in progress already. So you marks, man, and need to stay off social media. Pick up a book. Stop releasing all these spoilers, because you're ruining the business. Y'all don't know how to be fans. Be fans, okay? I don't want to see people hitting me up talking this, that, and third. People putting stuff in the group chat while shit's still going on. Man, y'all really pissing me off. And honestly, good shit by all promotions this past week. NXT fresh off takeover with Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly. Got really into it. Some hard hitting action. You can't say wrestling's fake after watching that. Broken jaws and broken ribs and whatnot. AEW fresh off the dog collar match. Very good. Nice storytelling there. Nice promo by Cody. See, he's going against Orange Cassidy. And you see SmackDown, good matches from Sheamus and Big E. You know, we got the little shock factor of the splitting up the New Day first night of the draft on Friday, so that was good. And then we followed it up on Monday with a great show. And I don't give Raw much credit, but Raw was honestly a good show. I like how they had a lot going on kind of at once with the how we seen the Women's Battle Royal, a couple eliminations, right before we hit commercial. There's a brawl going on backstage. Like, they need to bring more of that back, man. More of that vibe. Because no one could really when WWE's on their P's and Q's, no one's touching them. Production, wrestling, shock factor, all that. No one's touching them. And I'm not knocking Impact, ROH, New Japan, AEW. I'm not knocking none of that. That's more promotions we're gonna get into later. But this episode, I just wanted to highlight WWE. It's a little short, but I'm just trying to get the people what they want, what they need. You know what I'm saying? What they need to hear from the voice of professional wrestling in Long Island. I'm Audi 5000. Peace, everybody.